Hey man, I'm Zach and this is the Revolting Man channel. Thank you for watching. We're talking about free float handguards and a big drawback they have that no one ever talks about. I know whenever I say things like this, people always tell me, you're so stupid. How can you be such an idiot? The only reason this is a problem because you're such a moron. Well, yeah, be that as it may, there's still an issue with the free float handguard, and we're going to talk about it today. But first, we have something of a sponsor. Check this out. This is he's calling it a knight's handbook. I'm gonna call it a tactical manual from Ken over at Woodline Tracking. He's put this together. I am deeply impressed. This was a lot of work, definite labor of love. We're gonna be using this in some videos ourselves. He's got topics like basic training, tactics, homestead defense. We might be using that one a lot. Vehicle operation security. Look, we've known Ken for a while. He's got a great channel. He's been a good encouragement to us over the years. Whether or not you think you know everything, it's always good to get someone else's perspective. Plus, we just need to support the men who dream and dare and do big things. This was a big project, and he deserves credit for thinking big and executing. Look. He executed, man. This wasn't a dream. This was execution. Go over to Woodline Tracking and looking to getting you one of these. I'm very excited about it. I'm going to use it a lot. All right. So, just in case you don't know, what is a free float handguard? I know most of you know all this, but a free float handguard is actually a little bit of a misnomer. The handguard's not necessarily free floated. The barrel's free floated. I guess they both are. But the phrase actually originates with the barrel. People used to free float the barrel to get better accuracy, and that's the big advantage. This handguard is connected to this upper receiver, and it doesn't touch the barrel anywhere, so it doesn't put any stress or pressure or anything on the barrel, especially when you have things like bipods. The alternative is the old slip ring handguard, where the back of the handguard is still attached to the receiver through the slip ring, but the front of the handguard, yeah, I know how dusty it is. That's why I realized all this the other day. The front of the handguard is actually attached to the barrel, so that when you're holding the rifle, or if you had a bipod or anything, you would be putting stress and pressure on the barrel, and it could affect your accuracy. Okay, this is better. It is an advantage, but there's a problem, and I think it's a significant problem. And the problem is this, and I don't think you're going to be able to see it in this light. I just realized it the other day when I was out shooting with the boys. I have rust. Now this is a high-end barrel. This isn't, well, not a high-end barrel, but this is a quality barrel. And it's rusting on me, partly because I live in a double-wide trailer in the South and we don't use air conditioning, so it's very humid in the summer. And partly because I haven't taken the handguard off to clean the barrel. Now, why is that the problem of why is that the handguard's fault? This is the big problem with the handguard, the free float handguard, in my opinion. Well, here's why. It takes special tools. Okay, not special tools, it takes Allen wrenches, but it takes 2 different Allen wrenches on this particular one. It's a little bit of a process. There's a reason why, especially if you watch Forgotten Weapons or Military Arms Channel or CN Arsenal or any of these channels kind of focused on historical military weapons, they always talk about how hard it is to disassemble a weapon, how hard it is to do field maintenance. Look, this is not a high-end hunting rifle. It could be, but it's not. This is a rifle to defend my faith, my family, and my freedoms. It's an infantry rifle, and it needs to meet the standards of an infantry rifle. That means it's not going to be sitting in a safe, in theory. It has to be capable of not sitting in the safe, and I have to be able to maintain it in a field environment. That's a problem, because I have to have little tiny Allen wrenches and 2 different little tiny Allen wrenches in order to maintain the barrel to keep it from rusting. This is a basic maintenance issue, all right? Now I'm going to show you this. I've already taken these screws out to make this a little quicker, but this is not a what I would call a field expedient process. These little screws are not captive. They could come all the way out and you could lose them, and then your rifle is literally useless. You could probably only shoot this thing once a minute without a handguard, because the barrel would get so hot that you wouldn't be able to hold it. I guess maybe if you had gloves or something, but come on. And especially if you have accessories on your handguard, bipod, my sling, you know, I attach my sling. This needs to get moved. I should do that today, but I'm not going to. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. My sling, if you have a light, if your optic extends out onto your handguard, some people will have their, if they've got like a red dot magnifier type setup, their optic might extend out onto the handguard. It's a big problem. Excuse me. If you lose components to your handguard and you can't resecure it, it's not like the rifle wouldn't be able to shoot, but it would not be able to shoot very well. All right, let me slide this handguard off and show you why this is important. Okay, so you can see all that dust, but what maybe you're not seeing, or no, maybe you can see it, is that rust right there. Look at that. Somewhere, drill instructor Sergeant King just had a conniption fit. That is not okay, man. Look at it, it's all the way down here. Up here. See if there are any more. That you have to account for being able to take off your free float handguard in a field environment, if you have this type of rifle for this type of purpose. And that is a downside to a free float handguard. You need an extra tool, possibly two extra tools in this case, one of which is a little tiny thing that can get damaged or lost easily. And then it's the extra steps involved, and then you risk losing the little screws, the little set screws that hold your rifle together. That is a downside of a free float handguard that a slip ring handguard does not have. These have their own issues, but if you're not prepared to deal with the downside of the free float handguard, I say you're better off with the old style slip ring. So now we'll use our first Allen wrench to do the first two set screws, and then the second Allen wrench. And ideally, look at that. I did it. I lost a screw. See my point? Holy crap. Happened on camera too, for crying out loud. There really is a downside to free float handguards, man. We appreciate you. Thank you. For those of you that I didn't make that clear, I actually lost one of the set screws. It's around here somewhere. Hopefully it didn't fall through the crack though, because I'll never find it if it did. Damn. All right, man. We appreciate you. Thank you. found it. But it still proves the point. Free float handguards have a downside.